Hello ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be reacting to this feminist cringe compilation because there's several things in here. I do like to speak about the feminist issues that are going on. I feel as though it's necessary. Now, I will put the man who made this compilation together in the description. He has many more great ones like this, so please, if you're watching this video, go check him out. If you are like me and you hate feminists and fat acceptance and Black Lives Matter and all these different groups, please, thank you. We'll get right into it.
I sort of had a speech prepared, so I thought.
And as you see here, he says it very well. No one cares, Kathy Griffin. Kill yourself. Thanks. The rest here is about Anita's saggy condom and the whole thing, which I'm making a separate video on that. Okay, we're gonna start from right here.
What are these girls doing? They're taking a stand against inequality. They're also taking a whiz. That's how. Does this look equal to you?
Okay, first of all, no one ever said you couldn't pee standing up. It's literally biology. Are you gonna blame that on men?
We're both just peeing. Female friends everywhere. For years, you have not been able to pee freely, but today, you are free to pee as you please. With the great equalizer of men and women, Ms. Whiz. Ms. Whiz is a female urination device.
Yeah, I don't think you have to explain the product to us. It looks pretty standard. Now, for all these women hating men and their penises, why would they want to put their own on their body? Why would they want to become a man? Can you answer that, Anita?
The modern woman's weapon against inequality and unsanitary toilets. She's the quick, clean, comfortable way to go when you can't or don't want to sit. Just hold Ms. Whiz over your business and stand going to the bathroom before.
Now that made sense. When you can't or don't want to sit. See, they could have branded this a lot better. They could have marketed this a lot better. And they would have got a lot more sales. I would have bet you. They could have said, use this for when you're camping and there's not a bathroom nearby. But you don't want to go a tree like a man. They didn't need to bring in the whole inequality. Like, it just doesn't make sense. If you want to stand up and pee and ruin your freaking dress and clothes and everything, you go ahead. No one cares. It's not a man stopping you, telling you you have to sit down and pee. Some men sit down and pee. You want us to do it too? Why would we do that when we can stand?
We guarantee you can stand going to the bathroom now.
Listen up. There's still not equal pay for equal work anywhere in the world. And it seems most women are not even angry about it. But we should be.
The whole equal pay thing, I've said it before, it just doesn't add up in any way, shape, or form.
So let's set a new goal. From now on, equal pay is no longer enough. Because
do you want more pay?
Women need more. Our haircuts are more expensive.
So they want more pay because they're gonna go spend $100,000 on a new haircut because it takes the barber 15 hours to cut through all their hair and make it exactly the way they want it. Yeah, when men go to the barber shop and get it shaved, of course it's gonna cost more. And when you dye and layer your hair and get it all frizzled and whatnot, it's gonna obviously cost more. Doesn't mean you should get paid more.
Our underwear is ridiculously more expensive.
Now that one's false. Go to a Walmart. There's Walmart for $5. You're going to Victoria's Secret to buy the special underwear. Yeah, there's other ways around ridiculously expensive underwear. It's called Walmart. Or Kmart. Or literally any like crappy little supermarket. You can find $5 underwear. It's okay.
It's simply more expensive to be a woman than to be
Because you guys live expensive lifestyles.
a man. Should we seriously get paid less than someone who applies body lotion to his face? He doesn't need a new outfit for every new occasion.
Neither do you. This is all for your personal gain and for you to feel good. No one's forcing you to spend this money. A man is not forcing you to spend this money. Okay?
He doesn't even know that the shoes make the outfit.
So use
Oh,
up
the
your shoes that
joy
you
of
have.
choosing the right shoe. Fashion is expressing yourself.
No one ever
And
said
what
it wasn't.
every stylish woman is expressing is that equal pay is not enough. Equal pay is not enough.
This commercial in general, I'm just gonna skip through it because I already know what the rest is gonna be. It's autistic. We already know.
Students learn to push through boundaries.
How to make an impact.
And real Here at Darlington, students learn to push through boundaries.
How to make an impact.
And really leave a mark.
Because here at Darlington, if you touch a girl without consent,
We will you up.
I mean, okay, MTV is not what it used to be. MTV used to be the raunchy girls with their tits out and people jumping off buildings. Now it's feminists and Black Lives Matter and you shouldn't sell cigarettes in black neighborhoods because that's racist. Complaining women. I mean, racist, bigoted, horrible people hating on white men. That's all MTV is now. And plus the whole rape on campus thing. Half of these scenarios is the woman consents and then regrets it. I've seen this firsthand in my real life. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Mel, the director of controversial documentary The Red Pill, is in Australia to promote her film, which has sparked protests and been banned by Australian cinemas for being anti-women. But Cassie J claims that she was a feminist who changed her views on gender equality while making the film about men's rights movement. The documentary has been slammed by women's groups as misogynist propaganda. And Cassie J joins us now. Thanks for being with us, Cassie. There seems to be two issues here. There is the issue of the film's content that some disagree with, and then there's the issue of freedom of speech. So let's deal with that. Are you dismayed that some people won't be able to see the film and make up their own minds because of the protests, specifically here in Australia?
Absolutely. I think people need to see the film in order to have an opinion about the film, and unfortunately in Australia we've had so many screenings pulled from theatres that it's preventing Australians from being able to see the film for themselves.
Yeah, which, you know, as you say, sort of restricts the conversation that we're able to have around this. Now, on the content of the film, Cassie, I mean, I think it's really interesting and it's important probably to highlight some of the issues that men are facing in the modern world that they feel are, you know, really holding them back or getting them down. But can I ask you this? If you wanted to make a film about the issues facing the modern man, why did you have to focus on the views of these extreme misogynists of the men's right movement, people like Paul Elam? Why do you highlight men's issues by promoting men who minimise women's issues?
Well, yeah.
CNN in Australia? I think yes.
I have to see the film to see why I interviewed Paul Elam, because I had been a feminist of about 10 years before making the Red Pill movie, and all my previous work was about women's issues or gender, LGBT rights, gay marriage, that sort of thing. I've always been interested in gender politics, and I came across Paul Elam's writings on avoiceformen.com, and I was shocked and appalled and offended as a feminist woman. And so I decided to make a film about a voice for men and the men's rights movement and you know, the large scope of that, because no one had ever made a film about the men's rights movement before. And so I interviewed 44 different people for this film, feminists and men's rights activists. And you know, it's a very complicated topic when looking at men's issues.
It is, you're absolutely right, but it just seems to me that you don't really question their views in the film.
Did you see the film?
Well, we saw as much as we could because your publicist wouldn't send us the full thing.
I sent you the screener link actually to the full film.
But so we watched as
This guy messed up. Yo, your public. No, I sent the film to you. You can't have an opinion on something if you haven't seen it. Now, this is utterly retarded because it's CNN in Australia. I've already mentioned that. But I mean, it's like she said at the beginning. She's very. This is awesome of her. Is you can't have an opinion on something unless you know enough about it and have in this case seen the film. This is utterly ridiculous.
As much as we could, yeah, but
you could also buy the film on Google Play, Vimeo, and
we
Amazon
tried to do that and we couldn't.
Be that as it may, you know, it just seems from
somehow they're lying on live TV because she's given them like 15 different options to be able to watch the film. So, obviously, they've lost this debate because they don't know what they're talking about. So, they've lost this debate. She's won. And if you try to challenge that, then you have mental issues. I'm sorry.
What I have seen of the film, there's not a lot of questioning of some of their views, that's all.
Yes, there is. Absolutely. If you've seen the film, you would see the questions that I asked and their answers. And this film is not propaganda. I'm not promoting any kind of view that the viewer should take away. It's simply a journey looking at what men's rights activists have to say, what the feminist rebuttal is, and the audience is able to make up their own mind.
Well, just on Paul Elam and about the questions that you asked him, did you ask him about his writings where he had encourage people to go out and bash women?
Yes,
or about
I did ask
his
him
rape
about
apology.
all of that.
But was that included in the film? And what did he say about that? And did you agree with his original writings on that?
I do not agree with his approach and his kind of provocateur approach to these issues.
Oh my God, these news anchors, feminists, whatever you want to call them, saying that she didn't challenge. She's like, yes, I did. Like, obviously there's extreme sides on both the spectrum. Now, unfortunately, on the feminists, the spectrum's a little smaller, but on the men's side, there's the extreme. No one has ever denied that. And there's the stupid men's rights activists, and she understands that. This is someone who thinks like me, so I agree with her extremely throughout this entire thing, and I think she's totally roasted both these guys.
But at the same time, the way that he tries to get people to listen is by offending them to get them to read his website. And you know, ironically enough, that's what got me to make the film. Was I was offended by him, and so I looked deeper. I went down the rabbit hole, and that's the Red Pill movie. Yeah, well, I mean, we've done a lot of reading around Paul Elam over the years. In fact, we've interviewed Paul Elam, and there's no denying that a lot of what he says is deeply misogynist. My concern, Cassie, is just is that in setting up these guys as the spokesman for the issues that men face, we promote an opposition between men and feminism that's counterproductive to the genders working together to solve everyone's problems. My film looks at what men's rights activists have to say, all the different voices and approaches to this conversation, and what feminists have to say, and it's just allowed.
Now, this is she keeps having to say the same thing because they're not getting it through their thick skulls that she's taken both sides and put them in one film. This is not a film where it's not like CNN where it's going to be one-sided. This is a double-sided film. There's both sides. Like she said, the audience goes out with it with making up their own mind. So if there's anyone neutral, go watch this movie and make up your mind. Now, you gotta also understand if you're neutral, she showed some extremists on
allowing the viewers to make up their own mind. I think we have to have this conversation about what is going on for men in family courts and male disposability and falling behind in education and paternity rights and all of these things.
I totally agree that they are all conversations worth having. Why not have them with regular men, not guys who are in charge of the most misogynistic, anti-woman...
He's going off... He's acting like she only interviewed Paula Ian, which she did not. obviously. 44, that's not one person. They're
anti-feminist organisations
I
in the world.
interviewed Dr. Warren Farrell, who is very even-minded. I also interviewed Mark Angelucci, an attorney who works on behalf of men's issues. I interviewed Fred Hayward, who is a father who lost his custody of his son. I interviewed plenty of very sound-minded people in the film, men's rights activists. Paul Elam is certainly one of the most, you know, eccentric voices in the movement.
Sure.
And I, of course, have to show him.
Okay. Cassie, why did you decide to renounce your feminism after this and say that you're not a feminist anymore?
Well, you have to see the film to see what led me down
that.
that.
For all the people that haven't seen the film,
Yes.
can you just explain why you were not after just equality? Because isn't that what feminism is? Just
well,
equality?
I am for gender equality. I absolutely care about women's issues and girls being empowered full-handedly. That is my innate passion in life, was looking into women's issues. That's why I spent 10 years making films about women's issues, and I still hold true to that. But feminism is an ideology that really wants to keep the blinders on, just looking at women and girls' issues and blaming men for women and girls' problems. And they don't look at male victims, and I think we...
Thank you. She understands it. See, this is... Okay, just if you want to go... If you want to know how I think, this is exactly how I think. Okay? This is how I think. It's just like her. Everything she's saying, I agree with 100%.
We need to look at male victims if we're talking about gender equality.
Of course.
Sure.
I mean, I think you could be feminist and still, you know, look at men's problems. I mean, you're talking about a very, very small slice of feminism that's got blinders on. It's like saying all feminists are like, you know, it's like saying all women who are feminists are like the men's rights movements representing all men.
Feminism does blame men by the use of the word patriarchy to blame men for all the ills of the world. So feminism even blames men for their own issues, blaming it on patriarchy, so it's the fault of men. And it's a way to dismiss men's issues by blaming men for their own problems.
I don't think it's inherently blameful. But anyway,
all right, Cassie J.
It's an interesting discussion, a really interesting discussion, Cassie.
Thank you for being with us.
I would like to say I'm for gender equality. I'm for women's rights and men's rights now. And I'm not a men's rights activist, and the film was not funded by MRAs. That is a lie that's being perpetuated by Australian media. TheRedPillMovie.com.
All right, terrific.
Thank you.
I mean, you know, well worth viewing.
Yeah, if you can get on to see it, which we haven't been able to on several occasions. All right.
The reason that women aren't getting paid the same isn't ultimately because women don't ask right. It's because there's massive structural barriers stopping women from being paid the same. And it's not just about overt sexism in the workplace, it's about the fact that we don't value carers, and we don't share care.
Anne's spleen is about to erupt. Anne, what is your response to that?
The pay gap does not mean two people standing side by side, one man, one woman, on a factory line, doing exactly the same job, and the man getting more. The way that the comparability of the pay gap is assessed is taking into account such things as women tend to work more part-time, then trying to take two completely separate jobs and say, well, what are the attributes required, and trying to get some sort of false comparability. Well, we've come to that point now, from a point in which you really could have two people side by side doing exactly the same thing, lawfully being paid completely different rates.
Well,
so I don't actually buy into this. Our problem is this. We've actually got equality and we don't know what to do with it. So now we want special favours like positive discrimination. Oh, bless us all.
I don't even need to say anything.
You talk about law school, and I think it's interesting to note because I think we're both feminists.
I never considered myself a feminist. All during my professional career, whether it be a lawyer or a judge, I never belonged to a woman's organization. I didn't want to be, I wasn't a woman lawyer. I was a lawyer who happened to be a woman. And I wasn't a woman judge. I was a judge who happened to be a woman. I actually never felt, probably I was too stupid to know that I was held back at any time because of my gender. And I still don't feel as if there was any time in my life when I thought that being a woman held me back. You define yourself. If you let other people define you, that's a mistake. So I never felt the need to have a feminine organization behind me, although I'm sure that in some way they were assistants to me along the way.
I think it's funny, you know, I think of feminism as the social, political, and economic equality for men and women. So, you know, I wish people would embrace the term, because I think it's gotten a bad rap. So it's interesting for me to hear you say it's almost like you don't want to be associated with feminism.
No, because I don't think a movement, actually, Katie, helped me. Being part of an organization never defined me.
They call me man spreader. It's a badge I wear with pride, 'cause nothing feels better than the separation of my thighs.
Alright, everybody. Thank you for watching. This is his channel. I'll put a link in the description. Please, please, please go watch it. I'm not making money off this video. This is purely for your entertainment only. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful night, wonderful morning, wonderful evening, wonderful afternoon, whatever it is that you're watching this. I hope you have a wonderful life. Thank you, and I'll see you again in the next one.